I don't think that we really need to tell anyone about the dangers of underage drinking. Sadly, we see the tragic consequences, splashed across newspaper headlines and on TV on an all too regular basis. We obviously, just recently last week, had the incident of the poor young girl up in North Andover who became intoxicated at a house party and fell down a flight of stairs. Taylor Meyer, a little over a year ago. We see the car crashes with underage youth, and it's mind-boggling. As Chief O'Neill had mentioned, these aren't accidents. These are preventable. These are all 100% preventable. So that's why it's fantastic to see this amazing coalition of people coming together and working to solve this problem. As I said, I know when we talk about teen drinking around prom and graduation season, the first thing that pops to mind is the tragic consequences of drunk driving. And that is obviously a big issue. But in addition to that, drinking plays a very important role in such things as falls, drowning, physical violence and assaults, sexual assault. And then beyond that, we even have the long-term consequences associated with underage drinking. There's plenty of research and plenty of studies out there that will tell you the earlier that a young person begins drinking, the more likely they are to become alcohol dependent or alcohol abusers over the course of their life. Back in 2001, the National Survey on Drug Use and Health did a study among 16 million Americans who were classified as having alcohol dependent and abuse issues. Of those 16 million, 15 million of them said that they began drinking before the age of 21. That's 95%. So once again, that's the seriousness here. Yes, there are some very real short-term consequences, but once again, there are some very long-term consequences too. Alcohol dependence and abuse, failure in school, depression, potentially suicide, all very real and important issues. Two important points I'd like to make before I turn the podium back over with regard to underage drinking are, first off, oftentimes we portray this as a teen problem. This is an adult problem, first and foremost. This is our problem as adults. And I say that because I can guarantee you that 99.9% of the time, the would-be underage drinker didn't obtain their alcohol from a teenager. Somewhere along the way, they obtained that alcohol from an adult. Whether they walked into a package store and used a fake ID to obtain alcohol, whether they weren't carded at that package store, or a bar or restaurant, whether they got it from home, which tends to be the most common place, or whether they had an older sibling or an older friend who was over the age of 21 procure the alcohol for them. They got it from an adult. So I think that's really an important message to send. This is our problem. This is our problem to solve. We're the source of the alcohol, not the teenagers. Secondly, and once again, this plays into what we're doing here today. It takes a community effort to prevent underage drinking. We can't just rely on any one group. We can't just rely on the licensed establishments to do their jobs and check IDs, and we can't just rely on law enforcement to enforce underage drinking laws and to conduct the compliance checks. We can't just rely on our educators to get that message out to teens about the dangers of underage drinking and to ensure that their events are being run in a safe manner. And we can't just rely on the parents to talk to their kids and to ensure that they're serving as positive role models at home and that they're monitoring the alcohol that's at their homes. It takes all that in conjunction. We all need to work together. We all play a very important role because at the end of the day, this becomes a public safety issue. It's about the betterment of our communities. And I hate to sound cheesy, but the children are our future. So it's very important that we do our job as a community. Everyone plays a role to ensure that we reduce youth access to alcohol. So in conclusion, once again, thank you for having me here, and I hope we can have a safe and sober and happy prom and graduation season. Thank you very much.